Last session, you guys tracked down Tavia to Gristle Hall, a abandoned manor house just tucked away in the Field of Maidens. Uh, After making your way through there and finding some fun bits and bobs here and there, uh, you confronted Tavia, who, rather than fighting, was willing to just talk. I forgot to turn off sound alerts. Love that. Anyways. And through talking, you were able to figure out that the person behind the poisoning plot and the one who inadvertently revived Tavia was none other than High Chancellor Knabi himself. Finding that out, and that you are essentially going head to head with one of the most powerful people in Geb, you made your way out of Gristle Hall, got into a fight with Corinza, who wanted the magic of Gristle Hall to herself. And then after reconvening with Seldeg and just sort of debriefing, you then quickly all got a sending message requiring your presence in Mekatar for an audience with Geb by the new moon, which was about 2 weeks in the future. So, you guys were able to go back to Grey Dirge to kind of get your bearings, sell things as needed, and that's about where we are now.
Hooray!
Just want to make sure. We're supposed to be 11, or are we supposed to be 10? I forget.
No, you are 11.
Cool. Just double checking.
Yeah, things got a little dicey there with the removed random side quests, so you suddenly jumped from 10 to 11 in like a single session. But 11 is the correct level. So, all of you are back at Kalak Manor. So,
I have the most important question.
Yes.
Has our door been repaired?
Yes.
Thank you.
Honestly, I assumed Lazarus just used mending on it.
I don't have that.
Oh shit.
Why would I have that?
I don't know, it's a cantrip.
I probably would have fixed it.
Ooh. Luke is getting all arts and craftsy up here.
Got to a little bit. Gotta flex that muscle every once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, how long was this passage? Or not passage, this, how far from home were we?
Well, you are currently in Grey Dirge. Kalak Manor is the manor that you were gifted at the very beginning. So, at this moment, you were in Grey Dirge. It took you maybe with the carriage, I'd assume a day to get there, giving you about a little under 2 weeks to get all of your affairs in order and prepare for an extended stay in Mekatar.
Sounds good.
Also, mending does not exist.
They probably renamed it something.
Well, doesn't matter to me.
Nope. So, I know in order, Arthur, you were given essentially custody of the Grey Dirge Bank from the Builders League to kind of supervise that whole transition as it reopens.
Okie.
Lucas, are you just kind of attending to the Crooked Coffin?
The what, Hano?
Your brewery?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's called the Crooked Coffin.
We've always just called it the brewery for so long.
Yep, I decided to throw a curveball at you and use its name.
How dare.
Bar 1.
It's brewery, and then the satellites are bars.
Right.
God damn it.
Wait, why don't you have a bar inside of your brewery so you can get it?
We do.
So you can have
Same
a giant tourist trap.
We do.
Yeah, there is one in there. Just when you
home.
guys initially went there, they had essentially killed all the staff that actually knew how to run a brewery, which is why they didn't have anything of value there.
So we then killed them back. That's what you get for not running a brewery correctly.
Well, you kind of blew them up, but the details.
Yeah,
Minor details.
well,
A little bit. But yes, I've been tending to that and forming the network, as it were.
Yep.
For the breweries.
I forgot to get an actual price on that. I can get back to you a little later on that, but it won't be anything too
I
crazy.
figured.
No, basically all at once I went, shit, I forgot this. Oh, and that. And that. So
Yeah,
that's been the last, like, hour. Anywho. So, Lucas, I assume you're talking to the Shroud like we talked about earlier to officially obtain the bar and pad ked.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what you're dealing with. Lazarus or Fair to Lance, what are you doing?
I am looking for I am looking for the guy from the temple that I
Yep.
usually go to. Ortegar, I think it is.
Yep, Ortegar Stitch Skull.
Stitch Skull?
Sorry, I kind of started there a little. Stitch Skull. He has a bunch of
That's
stitches
what
on his head, so they just call him. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, you will be able to make your way back to the empty threshold, and kind of make your way to his quarters, well, office, whatever. And he will kind of look up from what he's doing. Ah, you returned. What can I do for you today? We don't have many people to handle, if that's what you're here for.
well, this is mostly my happy place. I don't say that often, but this is that. However, it took me quite some time to get back here. Um, but I was kind of hoping you did have some people. Is there anything on goings on that I need to know about? Anything that I can help with, or
Most of the information I've been hearing is of your escapades on the way down to the Field of Maidens. Uh, was there anything in particular you were searching for?
well, not necessarily. I'll need to have a bit of a think about it with everything that we've been through so far. I just kind of mostly wanted to visit for now.
Well, if you need anything in particular, I am happy to provide for a loyal follower. But if needed, we have other followers you can practice on in your spare
Perfect.
time. So, Fairlance is, I guess at best you can call it praying.
Yep.
So, Lazarus, when you are at this point basically alone at the manor because everyone's out doing their own things at the moment, you will hear a knock at the door.
I'm gonna give it the 3 seconds to see if it just bursts down.
No one seems to burst down your door. That seemed to be a one-time thing.
Hell yeah. I will.
And they break
Open the
down the door
door.
now. So, standing in front of you is a generally well-dressed looking ghoul who kind of looks down at you. Ah. Lazarus, I assume?
Who's asking?
Well, I was sent from the Builders League. I
Okay.
was told we have some business concerning the gibbering flesh holes.
Ah, yes. I would love to talk business now.
I think they specifically sent me because they have a sense of humor. So they call me
Little
the
bit.
Rat.
I don't know if I should find that racist or not, but, money's gonna talk, so I don't really care. So,
Well,
plans. Come on in. Or
Actually,
do I go with you?
I assumed you would want to come with me so you can generally see how we are getting into the gibbering flesh halls. Thankfully, one of your compatriots owns the bank, which will make our job a lot easier.
Yep. Let's go.
So,
So we're walking.
yep, the rat will walk with you towards the Grey Dirge Bank, not really being too talkative unless you ask him any specific questions.
Nah, that I can think of off the top of my head.
Alright. So, Arthur, you're kind of in the Grey Dirge Bank, kind of attending to things as you see both Lazarus and a ghoul you have never seen before walk through the door.
Oh, hello. Brings you here,
Salutations.
What brings you over here, Lazarus, and to whom do I owe the pleasure?
The rat. I know. It is a little awkward.
I
Only awkward if you
see.
make it awkward.
Well, I was sent from the Builders League to help Lazarus with his venture, and at the moment we need to go down to the vaults. I would
see.
prefer not to simply barge in, since this is now technically your bank.
I appreciate the thought there. Well, right this way, right this way.
Hooray.
Arthur, if you would like to come with us, you understand what Lazarus will be coming and going for in your bank. That is understandable. I would not recommend following us down, but you can at least see where we're going.
That's fine. I mean, I trust Lazarus.
So, going down below into the basement of the Grey Dirge Bank, instead of going to all the rooms with the safety deposit boxes you remember, he will instead go off into the side room with the large metal trapdoor that you were unable to open. All the different suggestions of what could open the door still scribbled on the walls.
Huh.
Ah, I see they've been trying to crack it. I don't think they were ever going to.
I assume you know how to crack it.
So, he's going to turn away from you briefly and pull out his left eye as he presses it against the door, and it creaks open, as you can immediately catch a strong whiff of just the smell of flesh coming out of this tunnel.
I see what you did there.
Well,
Gonna look down the hall or hole.
come along and do not stray very far from me. They simply
No.
call me the Rat because I've spent most of my life maintaining these tunnels to make sure that nothing too untoward ended up inside of these tunnels.
Like what?
Well, when you have several centuries worth of flesh being kept fresh inside of these tunnels, all sorts of different feral undead come knocking. Or
Hmm.
digging.
Ah.
But he will lead you down, as this staircase seems to go down for a good minute until you finally come out into what is just a large cistern, not filled with water or anything, but instead you can see, just as far as the eye can see, just mounds of flesh and skin just piled on top of each other, with no real organization, so much as just they end up wherever they ended up.
Well, that's gonna change. Everything will be neatly organized.
So, these are the stores of flesh that have been sitting here for approximately 350 years. They didn't have a good use for it, so rather than get rid of it or just eat it in a large feast, they stashed it away for future use in case they came up with something.
Sounds like I came up with something.
it will take you at least 350 years to get through all of this. At least. All of this is from the bodies that built the city above you.
That's what I like to hear. Well, I'm gonna just grab a little pile and yeah, I guess we're gonna unless there's anything else needed down here. I appreciate the trip.
Yes, I would recommend leaving it down here until you need it, as this place has been specifically enchanted to refrigerate all of this and to keep it relatively fresh.
Ah, okay.
The chimes could use some upkeep, but from the fact that most of this still looks fresh, it's doing its job.
Okay. Well, I will do some upkeep for us. To do like all that charm stuff, make it nice, and then I will probably hire people to sort everything out.
We will send you your own specialized key to access this on your own, but we would recommend telling someone you're coming down here, or at least bringing someone to throw in front of you should anything come at you.
I can do that.
So, with that, the rat will pop his eye back in and start making his way back up the stairs as you kind of just admire this never-ending tunnel of just piles of flesh.
I'm gonna make so much money. I'm gonna come back up.
So,
I'm gonna stop at Arthur. I have a question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to emote with your face?
Um, you know, I never really considered that, believe it or not. What do you mean by emote? Am I not emotive?
you're going a
Gonna
little,
attempt to give him my.
you're going a little robot-y over there, Arthur.
Oh, is it still pretty bad?
It's better.
Getting better,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. What do you mean? Does my winning smile right now not show
Well,
emotion?
the thing is, you don't really have a smile. You're just a skull. You don't have
Uh,
flesh. All that.
uh,
bits.
I see. So this whole time, whenever I would like wink at you guys,
Saying wink does not count as winking.
we kind of just went with it.
Oh, I see. You know,
'Cause, yeah.
I think some flesh sounds pretty sounds pretty nice. Did you say flesh or
No.
just how to emote to yeah.
Do you happen to have a picture before you became what you are now?
No, I kind of don't remember exactly how I looked. Kind of
Do you
yeah.
have like family records or anything that would show what you looked like?
Don't think so. I think was it bird.
You could probably
bird?
find like a family portrait or something somewhere.
Okay. I mean I could always summon the Retuses, but they look pretty much just like me.
I
Furry.
mean, if someone can draw a face or something like that, I could probably get you to look like what you used to.
You know what? I think I'd like that.
Right?
Let's look into this.
Yes.
Well, wait, so like how exactly would you be going about doing this?
Well, it's a thing called flesh warping. So, say on the
Ooh.
off chance Lucas happens to have an arm go missing for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to be able to replace that part. You can call me a arms dealer if you want.
I very much would want
A
to.
used body salesman, if you will.
Ha 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 ha. See, I see.
And where there's injuries and body parts going missing, well, I'll be your guy to fix that.
Hmm. Even entire amounts of skin?
I mean, I could
Well-
show you the flesh pit effectively.
Flesh pit?
You know the city?
Yeah.
You know how it's made of bone?
Yeah.
Well, that's where all the meat went.
Uh. Uh. Oh.
Yeah. And in the at least 350 years of it being here, no one's found a use for it.
Until one lonely bank skeleton owner.
Yes. So there's a lot of stuff down there.
Interesting. Could I have like flaps of wings made of flesh? Like loose enough that it would be wing-like, but probably wouldn't. Like, I mean, not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not willing to hollow out my bones to actually go airborne, but I think I'd like to be able to flap my arms around like makeshift wings.
So you want to
Maybe
get
get a
fat?
breeze. Yeah.
Also, it's not really that hard for creatures with flesh and solid bone to fly because, fucking demons.
Ooh, that's a good point. Hmm.
Plus, magic.
Okay, okay.
So yeah,
Color me.
we can go
Interested.
over the details later.
Sounds good to me.
So yeah, going back home or
Okay.
wherever the rat wants to take me.
Yeah, the rat just kind of left you to it.
That's fine. Actually, I'd probably go hang out with Lucas.
Yep. So, he's just kind of dealing with stuff at the brewery. He sent some letters here and there to certain different parties, but for the most part, it's just a normal day at the Crooked Coffin.
Yep, that's fine.
So, going back to the empty threshold, Ferdinand, as you are wrapping up your prayer, Ortegar will kind of knock quietly before poking his head into the room. Ferdinand, my friend, do you forget to tell me something along the lines of you having an audience with Geb?
It seemed to be unimportant. Just sitting there wiping my hands down. Am I not taking this seriously enough?
Well, you are representing essentially our entire temple in the face of Geb, and not many people get personally invited to Mekatar by the king himself.
Well, I wish it was on better terms. But I guess beggars can't be choosers. Speaking of beggars, I have found myself a new pastime.
Do tell?
Yes, it is quite entertaining to flick dense coins into their skull. They seem to enjoy it, which is odd for me, but it's a new reaction. Things that I do to people normally, so it's kind of, yes, taboo and interesting to me for right now. But
Well, it is always important to explore new avenues.
Yes, and my time here, though short, has reminded me that I do enjoy being surrounded by my own people. Um, I was wondering if you knew of some fellow uh, followers that would necessarily be interested in joining me. You see, I don't want any of the underlings, the new blood. I need people that actually have potential. I don't want to waste my time with anyone who is still learning the ropes and the knives and all the other things. My poor attempt at humor.
Fair to Lance, as soon as I heard that you had an audience with Geb, I assumed that big things were coming for you, as he does not take interest in many. And he's going to immediately pull out several files. I started bringing them up as soon as I heard.
Excellent. I do love a bit of light reading. So I'll go ahead and take the files and I guess find a slightly empty part of the temple and start reading.
And fair to Lance, be sure to do us proud.
I'll try.
But for the most part, is anyone else doing anything significant in the next 2-ish weeks before heading to Makatar?
Just setting the foundations for my business.
Okay. Lucas? You have anything extra you're trying to do, or just brewery?
I think you'll.
Oh, he
hear
said,
back.
son of a bitch. I never see it. Okay, and Arthur, you're dealing with Grey Dirge, so... Just a moment. Am I going fucking insane? Where the fuck was this page?
Probably on that one tab.
I will fight you here and now, sir. You know what? It's fine. Problems for later. Not important. So, towards the end of the 2 weeks, you will be able to bring up the usual carriage and start on your way towards Makatar.
Yep. I'll do that roll. Fucking got it.
Yep, that'll do. So, god damn it. So, as you start coming up on Makatar, you will see in the middle of this rather large cityscape what looks like almost a large black pyramid towering high above the rest of the buildings in the city. You can see all sorts of different monuments spread all about the city, and all sorts of different people doing their business on the streets. From what you know, uh, when you're ready to seek an audience with Geb, you are to meet with him at the Cinerarium, which you know is the pyramid at the center of the city.
Excellent. Having never really been to Mekatar. Gonna look for a guard that can kind of point us in the direction that we need to go.
Yep. So, if you ask him how to get to the Cinerarium, he will kind of just look at you and then glance at the large pyramid in the center of the city.
Well, yeah, but like, we're good to come in.
Yes, all are welcome as long as you don't cause any issues.
You know, I don't plan on doing that.
Most people don't.
All right. Well, anything y'all want to do on the way there?
On the way there,
As in, to the center building?
are there poor people?
You could assume you could find poor people somewhere, yes?
Should should
All
we
right,
bring
well,
a gift?
we are the gift.
Oh.
And we just keep on giving.
So I meant to have this in there, but this is also on the list of things I forgot, because of course I did. So anyways, I'll have a map up for you to actually look at in a second, but it doesn't matter that much.
It matters a whole lot.
Well, it matters a little, but as I said, you are free to go whenever you need, and it will be ready for whenever you go.
Well, I don't need to do anything, so we can move along.
All right.
Yeah.